This is a Rogue Media Network podcast.
I tried to fight all through the night, deep in the heart of Texas. The trailer park is nice and dark, deep in the heart of Texas. Cat drinks his brew and he spits his chew, deep in the heart of Texas. The TV blares, but no one cares, deep in the heart of Texas. Here we go!
Hey, what's up?
Hello.
How are you? Welcome.
Welcome.
to
Wah.
a King of the Hill podcast. I'm Mike, and that is
Still rusty.
There it is,
Believe
still
it or
rusty.
not. Still rusty.
I am Rusty. I'm going back and forth with my wife here. She, the poor lady, you know, her mom's husband passed away within the last year or so.
Oh, yeah,
And so
yeah.
her mom she's super lonely and stuff, you know.
Yeah, understandable.
She just lives up in Georgetown, so I mean it's not that far away. So Suzanne went up there last night, stayed over, and she keeps sending me texts. This morning, the first text I got was, and now church TV, teachings of George Stanley. So she's going over every single thing.
Stuff,
Now they've gone to the Sprouts grocery store, her mother, and her sister.
I wish we
and,
had one of them.
And she just keeps sending me pictures of how now they're shopping for sweet rolls and things like that. She's afraid she's never going to be allowed to leave. So
Yeah, and the next thing you know, it's going to be Kenneth Copeland and Joyce Meyer on TV.
I'm sure she already listens to both of those. Yeah, I just I feel bad for her, so she's stuck there.
Yeah, I feel bad for her too.
All right, here one of these days won't still be rusty, and the world
Will slow down.
is slow down. That's right. I was in a box. Thanks for being here, Artie. Thanks for being here. I was in a box. Blah 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 blah. Thank you for being here. Let's see. Let's look and see anybody else. That's all.
Everybody's here.
Those are the ones I see right
The
now.
whole gang.
We got a few more of those that are watching live, and we appreciate you being here, guys. Okay, we are here for season 7, episode
Yes, we are.
Quattro. This actually is 6ABE01.
Well, then I got a couple of artifacts here.
Yeah.
Artie's cranking them out
Let's go.
again. So Artie said the release date of this was 11/24/2002, which was his birthday.
Oh, happy
his birthday is the
back
24th
then.
of November, and then also
We just missed his birthday then.
we
say happy birthday?
We said
Happy
happy
birthday
birthday
again,
We said happy
Artie.
birthday. It took us a while.
I'm gonna
We
say it
were
every
midway
episode.
through it,
Happy
but we told him
birthday,
happy
Artie.
birthday.
Okay.
Also, this is a pretty cool fact. This is episode 129, and there's exactly 129 episodes after this. So we are officially
We are at the middle.
we're officially in the middle of 13 seasons of King of the Hill.
Speaking
so we're
of-
right smack dab in the middle.
All right, you got any more? Because I got one more.
Yeah, just
Thing
real
about
quick.
being in the middle.
Yeah, just real quick. This the reference for this show is "Goodbye Norma Jean," which is a lyric for "Candle in the Wind" by Elton John. He wrote that for her. I guess it's a tribute song to her. He was probably
It's a tribute song to Marilyn
Marilyn Monroe, and then it became a tribute song to Princess Diana. He used them for both. He recycled it. But yeah, that's it. That's it.
How'd you like to die, and then you died later, and you get a recycled tribute song?
And the whole world loved it. That
seems,
song went #1 when Princess Diana died.
Seems kind of shitty.
It is a little, especially for somebody as creative as Elton John. Like he
Yeah.
could have did a whole, arrangement for Princess Diana, but the world loved it. So
So you talked about being right in the middle.
yeah, right in the middle. We're smack dab in the middle right now. 129 episodes
Did you-
down, 129 to go.
Did you see the announcement of Malcolm in the Middle?
I did see the announcement of Malcolm in the Middle. It's supposed to be just 4 episodes, though.
It's 4 episodes, which basically is kind of a TV movie. You know?
Yeah, that's what I think.
When
Like
you
a
think
little
about
mini
it,
series.
and the premise to me sounds good.
I'm interested.
Malcolm and his daughter are pulled back into the craziness at their house during Hal and his mom's 40th anniversary. Lois.
That's pretty cool. I really hope
that'd
they
be
could
cool.
bring back most of the cast, because I think it would be just crap if it's just Malcolm.
I just love that Cranston is like, yeah, sure, whatever. You know?
Well, that's the thing.
Because he can do anything he wants.
After Breaking Bad, he could literally do whatever he wants.
Well, and then he did that Your Honor on HBO or
Yeah,
Showtime or whatever.
that was good. That
It
was really
very
good.
Yeah, very good.
Uh,
That was very good.
That's one thing that Frankie Muniz said, is that since the show
He
said,
said, "Please give me something to do."
yeah, well, he does race car driving and stuff.
Does he?
He was actually doing the NASCAR, not mainstream NASCAR. I can't remember the name of the lesser series.
AAA NASCAR.
No, there's like two big stock car things. One is NASCAR, obviously, and then there's like another series that's just right below the
Nasty
mainstream
car.
NASCAR. It's like AAA NASCAR, I guess. I can't remember the name of it, but he was racing in that. He did a couple of races. He didn't race the whole season, but he had 2 or 3 races that he raced. But one thing that he said about Bryan Cranston that shows kind of like the character of Bryan Cranston is that he said that since the show ended all them years ago, Bryan Cranston has
Says he runs F1.
messaged him. Yeah, he does run F1. Bryan Cranston contacts him every, 2 or 3 times a week, or
That's cool.
every so often, just to check up on him, ask him how he's doing.
That's really
He
cool.
goes to his races. He goes to his like events and stuff that that Frankie Muniz is doing. He's like, he'll show up to all Frankie Muniz's stuff, and if he's doing an event or anything like that, he's always shows up to it. So I think that's really cool, because you hear a lot of bad things in the industry about childhood actors and stuff like that, and stuff that they go through, and it's cool to see that somebody was looking out for the kids that was on that show. I do think that the Masterson kid might not be on there, though. The one that played the older brother.
You think?
He is his brother just got locked up for some heinous stuff. So it would be cool for him to still be on the show, because he didn't do anything. He's not.
No.
It's his brother that did it.
As far
So
as we know, he didn't.
I'd love to see the whole cast there. At least the 4 kids, because they
Who's
ended up
the
having
little
another one. Who's the little one?
Yeah.
Well, they had Dewey.
He's the one I'm talking
But they
about.
also had another one. They had a
little one?
baby. They had 4 kids in the
that's right,
show,
they
because
did
they
have
had
a
a
baby.
baby, like
Yeah,
a
you're
midlife
right.
crisis baby.
They did it
So
right.
in this show, the baby would be in their 20s now. and
Yeah, he's
Frankie's
probably like
like
15.
40, so I don't know. I think it'll be great. I'm
All right.
interested.
So we are season 7, episode 4, 6 ABE01 in the year of our Lord. Goodbye, Normal Jeans. Aired November 24th, Artie's birthday, 2002. Peggy gets jealous of Bobby's home economic skills. Bill loses $1 million bet to Dale. This was written by Mike Judge, Greg Daniels, and Kit Boss, our old friend Kit Boss. Name comes up quite a bit. Boy, oh boy, look at that hair. Woo, baby. Artie says, a guy I worked with used to call me Dewey because my ears stick out.
Yeah, so this really should have been
That's funny.
episode 1 of season 6.
Yeah, it should have been episode 1 of season 6. All right, we
Wow,
started.
they hung on to that one for
Yeah,
a
an entire
long
season.
time.
Yeah.
And I think like the next couple episodes, no, not the next couple, but there's even one that goes the Great Pygmalion episode is
that
season
one's coming up.
5.
Yeah.
They held
This-
on to it from season 5.
So didn't we just have a Thanksgiving episode?
Yeah.
Because this is a Thanksgiving episode.
No, we didn't just have a thing. We just had Thanksgiving.
Yeah, but I thought we just had a Thanksgiving episode. also.
No, because I remember we had discussed.
All right.
We were discussing the episodes that had like holiday stuff, and this one was.
Artie says they drug it out for Thanksgiving.
Yeah, this one was close enough to be Thanksgiving, but we missed it by like 2 weeks.
Gotcha. All right, we start at Tom Landry Middle School in Home Economics. That is room 223, in case you were wondering. Bobby and the other kids are ironing stuff in Home Economics, and the teacher, the very pent-up and very angry-looking teacher, is walking up and down, just kind of watching the kids. We see Bobby. He's the class clown, so he puts some Not sure why he has dish soap next to the ironing board, but he grabs some of that, puts some dish soap in it. Teacher comes up and goes, Bobby Hill, what are you doing? Oh, I'm ironing underwear. Jesus. I swear to God, I thought it said underwear at first. It says, I'm ironing underwater, blurp, blurp, blurp.
Oh, yeah.
I swear to God, every time I see that,
yeah, I thought it
says
said underwear too.
The teacher, who Artie says is Miss Bittner, don't test me, young man. I failed funnier kids than you. All right, children, irons down. With the help of Ernie the janitor, in comes Early the janitor, I have soiled each of these cheerleader uniforms. That is out of context.
She's
that sounds
actually
terrible. She says he pushes in the uniforms kind of on one of those hanger things like you see in a hotel.
yeah.
She says, your take-home exam is to identify and remove the mystery stain. She starts handing these things out. And here's one for our class clown. Hands it to Bobby. And she goes, oh, wait, let me give you a little extra credit. And then she takes cake frosting, because they have a cake sitting there.
Yeah.
Takes cake frosting and wipes it across the uniform. She's still got a little bit on her finger, and the janitor just reaches over and slurps it right off her finger.
Yeah, she
That is weird as hell.
the voice actor for the teacher is a woman named Mary Shear. And she was actually, if anybody's familiar with iCarly, which I'm not really familiar with iCarly, she played Mrs. Benson. I guess that's like her popular recent role. But yeah, so she's done quite a few different things. She was on the Between Two Ferns movie.
She was.
Yeah. She did like episode of Hannah Montana. She did 65 episodes of Mad TV.
65 episodes of Mad TV.
75 episodes of the Most Extreme Elimination Challenge.
Okay.
She did 14 episodes of
finally
Hey
got
Arnold.
eliminated.
So she's she did 2 episodes of Seinfeld. So she's been around the industry for quite some time. Earliest being in the 80s, just doing small stuff, and then she was in an episode of Quantum Leap.
Oh, I'm sure she's a character
Yeah,
actor.
episodes of
Yeah.
Beverly Hills, 90210, Party of 5, Freakazoid, Johnny Bravo.
Party of 6,
So
Party
she's
of
been
7.
around for a while, yeah.
All right, next we go over to the Hill House. We're in the kitchen, and where Hank walks in and says, if it's Monday night, it must be Frito pie with Wolf Brand chili. I love the fact that he calls it Wolf Brand chili. Like,
Wolf
says the
Brand
entire
chili.
thing. Doesn't just say chili.
And he says it more than once is what's even funnier.
Well,
yeah.
And that's something that I believe my grandfather used to say also. He would say Wolf Brand chili.
Yeah, Wolf
Like,
Brand chili. It
Like,
can't
you
be
don't need
chili.
Those 2 words.
It can't be chili if it's not Wolf Brand chili.
You're not fixing that Hormel in my house.
Yeah, no
Yeah.
Hormel.
a
I wonder if the
Wolf Brand.
Hormel people say, like the Hormel family say, I want some of that Hormel brand chili.
I don't want some of that Hormel Brand chili. Get that wolf out of my house.
Yeah.
Peggy is taking stuff out of the oven.
It's like the Hatfield and the McCoys.
That's it.
Yeah.
It's the Wolves and the Hormels.
The Hormels.
She goes, I made it just the way you like it. Perfect. Oh, God. Already she starts with this.
Yeah, there she goes.
Hank, come on, Bobby. It's Frito pie with Wolf Brand chili night. Okay. He says, oh, what the?
It's like it's like he has to say it because he's getting like kickbacks from Wolf
Something.
Brand. Yeah.
So he walks into Bobby's room. He sees Bobby with the cheerleading outfit, dress, whatever, and he goes, what the? He goes, oh, there better be a naked cheerleader under your bed. He says, Dad, don't get mad, but I think I'm going to fail home ec. He goes, well, of course you're failing home ec. You're a guy. He takes the uniform from him, and then he goes back in with Peggy, and we start with seeing Peggy in the oven, which is a little odd. He comes in and goes, did you know your son is taking home ec? They got him playing with skirts. If Bobby learns to cook and clean for himself, what's his motivation to ever get married? Which, okay.
Yeah.
She says, Peggy says, home ec is not going to turn Bobby into a sissy. In prison movies, the toughest character always works in the kitchen. Is that true? That's not really true.
Well, no, it wouldn't be. Well, it wouldn't be
The
true.
one that hides shit.
I don't know if it's a trope or not, but if it is, then I guess so. But in reality, it would be the people who listen and do what they're told. They call them trustees that get to work in.
So
if you're the bad guy, you don't have a job in jail, but sitting inside your cell.
Yeah. So now we go into the alley with all 4 guys. Now I want to point out something here. They are all dressed weird. I don't understand the way that they are dressed because Bill has an orange, I guess, mid-sleeve shirt because he's got it rolled up to up to his biceps. An orange shirt over a white wife beater, which you hardly ever see him in anything but the wife beater. Boomhauer has a blue shirt over a long sleeve gray T-shirt, or almost like a what do you call those things you wear? They're not underwear. They're what? Long johns.
Long
so
johns.
like a long john top.
Yeah.
Hank has a blue button-up shirt that's tucked in and buttoned up all the way. And then Dale has a tan button-up that's buttoned up all the way. They look like they're dressed up. And the odd thing to me is that later in this episode, they make fun of Hank for wearing khakis.
Yeah.
But right now, they're all basically dressed up.
Khakis.
Anyway, out in the alley, you hear, I wouldn't worry, Hank. When I was the varsity football towel manager, I cleaned 50 jock straps a week. I turned out okay. Okay. Bill,
it's not very convincing.
Bill has an empty beer can. He kind of chunks it and makes it right into the cooler. Boomhauer's hey, man, not shy. No, nothing but nice. He goes, and then Dale comes back up. Please, when I was the varsity football towel manager, I once slingshot a jockstrap into a laundry hamper from 50 yards away. Okay, whatever. He goes, bet you can't do that again, talking to Bill. I go, you're on. And then he wads it up. He kind of worries about it. He shoots it too high, and he misses. And he's like, he goes, you choked. You owe me $1 million. Choker. And then he starts choking himself and then finally gets it all straight, looks at him and says, choker. Peggy and Bobby are in the garage with the washing machine, and he's going to try to get those stains out of that cheerleader uniform. He says, Dad says that men install washing machines. They service washing machines, but they aren't supposed to use washing machines. Peggy says, please, there's no rule that says only women can do housework and only men can have careers. I can do both. I am what the magazines call a superwoman. Bobby says, I like Superwoman. She goes, Bobby, thank you. Now, let's take a look at your homework. When we're done with it, this stain is going to wish it was still on some cheerleader's lunch. First, you blindside it with pre-soak, and she squirts it. Then you sucker punch it with some hot water, and she puts it in there, and she pours on the hot water. And then when it's begging for mercy, you rip off its head and pour bleach down its neck. Finish it off, Bobby. Are you going to let that stain call you a sissy? He says, no, and he hits the button and starts it. When she's doing that, I'm thinking, why are you putting all that bleach in there?
Yeah, that's gonna eat some wear it out.
It will wear it out very
Bleach
quickly.
is not, especially being colors. Why would you bleach colors?
Next morning,
we wouldn't expect Peggy to know too much.
Arthur, talking about the can with Bill, says he should have had Dandy Don Merida throw it.
Yeah,
that's a good callback, Artie.
You didn't even take off your jacket.
Next morning, they go out into the garage. They're going to check out the uniform because it's been washing all night, I guess. I don't know. And he goes, I know it's not even Thanksgiving yet, but it feels like Christmas morning. And then they open it up, they pull it out, and the thing looks horrible. It's got
chewed
holes
up.
in it.
Yeah, it looks like it was
There's still
in
stains
a rat's
on
nest.
it. He goes, well, it's full of holes, but you did get the stains out of mostly. Looks in the washer. This is when it happens. Peggy goes, Bobby, these are your father's dungarees. And she pulls out blue jeans with holes and bleach stains all over them.
So
I love that she calls them dungarees.
Artie said that we find out here that he had holiday dungarees, which is an odd thing to have. Like, I understand grandma having an apron or mom having an apron that she wears for Thanksgiving.
I think he only has one pair of pants.
One pair of pants.
That's the way I looked at it.
Yeah,
like
probably.
He had one pair of pants. This is the only pair of pants he wears. So they go inside. This is a couple minutes later. How could you, Peggy? Now, what am I going to carve the turkey in? My underwear? Not with an electric knife. No, sir. She says, even world-famous surgeons do not get it right 100% of the time. They make mistakes, Hank. People die. We are human. It's okay.
That's rough.
All right, now we're back in the class. A teacher is circling stains and giving them grades and stuff, and Bobby comes up to her. Miss Bittner, I'm not going to lie to you. I don't think I heard one thing you said all year, especially whatever you said about bleach. Can you help me fix my dad's pants? And the teacher says, he can't wear one of your clever jokes. Okay, lady, we get it.
That's good. That's good.
Bobby says, please, Miss Bittner, I've never asked you for anything other than sugar. Now we're in the alley, and my wife says that she just spent 15 minutes pulling a wire out of her sister's tire in the parking lot.
That sounds
just keeping
fun.
y'all up to date as to my wife's adventures. So we're in the alley. Hank comes in wearing khakis because he doesn't have his dungarees. And then here they go. Dale says, "Oh, fancy. Hey, Hank, how's it going at the bank?" Hank says, "Oh, how the hell should I know?" He goes, "On a fiscally related note, Bill, where's the $1 million you owe me?" And Bill looks at him and says, "Oh, right, Dale. Yeah, suitable for framing. There you go. $1 million." Writes him out a check for $1 million. Big mistake. I guess I'll have to sell my private island in the South Pacific, huh? He goes, you never go anyway. Now we're back in the kitchen. Bobby is, you can tell he's really getting into it because now he's wearing that measuring tape around his neck.
Yep.
You know? He says, Dad, would you like to wear jeans to work today? He goes, oh, you know I would. He goes, look what I got. I got a bolt of denim from Miss Bittner. I used your old jeans as a pattern. I fired up Mom's sewing machine. And he has sewn him an entirely brand new pair of jeans. Can you even imagine the work that goes into something like that?
It's not, easy.
I can't
It's not very
imagine
easy.
that Peggy had the needles and stuff that are strong enough to do that because they take reinforced needles.
Well,
because it's denim.
Yeah. Well, I feel like Peggy would have a lot of things to do a lot of things that Peggy can't do.
She just can't do them very well.
She just can't do them.
That's
It's like people who have ADHD who jump from one hobby to the next hobby to the next hobby to the next hobby, and they have money to do it. So it's like I know a lot of people that wanted to get into streaming, and they spent like $3,000 on streaming equipment, and the next thing you know, they're on Facebook Marketplace trying to get rid of it because they don't know how to use any of it.
Yeah.
So I feel like this is something like that. Like Peggy, she might have this badass sewing machine with all the accoutrements, and she doesn't do anything with it.
Well, having said that, she does say, my sewing machine? No, it can't make seams this straight. Well, no, it can, Peggy. It's you. And Hank says, well, I guess it wouldn't hurt to try them on. He pulls them on right there in the kitchen in front of everybody. Bobby's very nervous to see how it goes. He goes, well, all right, Bobby. They're perfect. I mean, they're a little stiff. Peg's starting to get pissed. But after I break them in for a couple of years, they'll be perfect. He's like squatting and moving and stuff to stretch his jeans out. Yeah. Bobby comes up and goes, hang on, I picked up a little trick in home ec. I hope you don't mind. I borrowed your power sander. And he starts sanding his legs, which is weird. Hank goes, Peggy, he's right. I can feel the denim loosening up. I'm glad you ruined my jeans. Bobby's made them even better. And then it shows Peggy, and boy, oh boy, is she pissed.
She's pissed. She's getting replaced by her son,
she is
the home economic wizard.
And she's going to get reinforcement here in a bit. That is the first commercial break. We're going to take that, and we will be
right back.
Hey, there we are. We're back. What do you know? We were just talking about lighting.
Lighting.
Yeah, my lighting is a little weird. I'm going to need one from underneath, I think. I don't really care what I look like necessarily. It's just that we've got sports guys coming in tomorrow, and they, as a matter of fact, we have so much. Here's how much they care about their appearance. They bring their own makeup bags. You know who you are. All right.
Wow. Well, those are real deal TV guys, though, right?
Yeah,
like ESPN, all that kind of stuff.
They are. Yeah, I got to get a makeup person.
I would never participate in that type of activity. I don't think.
What, putting on makeup?
I mean, if I was in professional TV,
yeah,
but doing what we do, I don't think
There's
I would
no reason for it here.
ever see the need for it. You know, I've been watching streamers since like Justin TV, and none of them wear makeup, and they all have good lighting, and none of their faces.
Do you know they don't wear makeup though?
I'm pretty sure like these guys could barely wash their ass, some of them, so I highly doubt they're wearing makeup.
All right, so we were in the Hill kitchen, Hank and Peggy, and they're coming in with groceries. Bobby's already in there. He's cooking or whatever. As they come in, Hank says, Bobby, 8 hours and no chafing. I know what I'm leading off my Thanksgiving prayer with. And he's talking about the jeans he made.
Yeah.
Peggy just rolls her eyes. Bobby says, 2, 3, 1, mark, buns in the oven. And he throws some bread into the oven. He goes, oh, you're not just sewing in home ec? They got you cooking too? Huh. He goes, well, I hope you don't mind. I opened a bottle of your wedding wine to marinate my pot roast. Their son, who's 12 or 13, just opened a bottle of wine to use on the pot roast.
Which this episode, to me, kind of alludes to what we could look forward to in the revival, because in the revival,
it's true.
he is
He's a cook.
He's a cook,
chef.
a chef.
Yeah.
So we get to see a little bit of that here. Bobby is sewed pants. He's put the buns in the oven. He's got wine on the pot roast, and I think that's cool that they have this particular episode right before the revival.
Yeah.
Because it does. I think this is like one of the first like
be some
foreshadowing.
foreshadowing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Hank says, well, just make sure when you're done playing, your mother has her kitchen back. It's Tuesday night pork chops, you know. He says playing.
Yeah.
Peggy
he thinks
says,
he's playing around. Yeah, he's not playing, buddy. He's a cook.
Peggy says, yes, Bobby, I can handle the heat, so get out of my kitchen because with the pork, slightest mistake could kill us all. Okay, Peggy. Now
dramatic.
We're at the Arlen Bank and Trust. The Bugabago is parked out front. Dale is in line at the bank. He gets up to the front. He says, I'd like to cash this for cash. Thousands will be fine. He's talking about that check that he got from Bill.
Yeah.
Everybody in their freaking right mind knows that Bill doesn't have $1 million. The lady behind the counter, the teller, says, most of the $1 million checks we see are jokes. He goes, your job sounds fun. What a dick.
Yeah.
Your job sounds fun. She goes, I'm sorry, Mr. Daltarive only has $418.75. And here's where the script was weird. It didn't tell me some of these things, but it says, okay, then give me, and this is the part it left out, 400 Sacagawea coins, 18 Susan B. Anthony's, and then it says 2 North Carolina quarters and a Utah.
So
he's
fun
got it
fact.
planned out.
So fun fact. This is another Artie fact here.
Utah.
Well, the first thing is Artie pointed out that she gave the exact amount of money that's in somebody else's account. That would never happen.
That's verboten.
But he mentioned the North Carolina quarters and the Utah quarters, which state quarters weren't even a
75
thing
cents.
yet. Well, state quarters weren't a thing yet.
Yeah.
So specifically the Utah state quarter, it didn't come out until 2007. So this is 5 years before state quarters were even out. And he's talking about state quarters, so I think that's pretty cool foreshadowing from the creators.
So 400 Sacagawea coins, because those were dollar bill coins. And the bad thing about the Sacagaweas were they got stuck in vending machines because they were just slightly larger than a quarter.
Yeah.
And then he says 18 Susan B. Anthony's. Those were those were dollar bill coins also, but they were bigger. And then, like you say, North Carolina quarters in Utah. All right, so now we're at the Hill House, and they are sitting down eating very gray, what looks like very dry pork chops that Peggy has made. And Hank says, yep, tastes like Tuesday. She says, thank you, Hank. I don't think that's a compliment, but all right. Bobby pushes a pot roast in front of Hank, and this thing is beautiful.
Sorry to interrupt you.
Yeah, no, you're fine.
Artie corrected me. So some state quarters were out, but specifically the Utah quarter wasn't out at that time. So, okay.
All right. Well, I mean, I think we knew it was coming out. That was the thing, right? That
they knew eventually it was going to happen because they were doing the 50 state quarters that time. I remember because my dad collected all of them when they were coming out. He would go and get a roll of them or whatever.
So as Artie says, Hank really chokes down this piece of dry pork. But Bobby pushes his pot roast in front of Hank, and then, boy, it is beautiful. It's
it
big.
Looks good. Juicy.
Yeah, it's got all the stuff on it. Hank says, say, that smells pretty good. He goes, oh, thanks, Dad. Could you sign this form saying I cooked it myself and it tasted okay? Hank's like, yeah, I'll help you with your homework, of course, because he can eat. So he cuts a piece off and he eats it. Peggy, starting to get pissed again. Hank, you will spoil your appetite. He goes, no, it's okay. Let's eat Bobby's pot roast now while it's still juicy. Your pork chops will be just as good tomorrow. Ooh, that's a hit.
Yeah, it's a hit. Well,
that's a hit, and he didn't even mean it. That's a hit.
When he was eating that pork chop bite, he was like, it was a tough eat. That's why it tastes like a Tuesday. So, and that's the thing here. This is the shitty Peggy stuff again. Is if your kid is better than you at cooking, encourage that. She's like trying to detract because she can't cook good and Bobby can. She's trying to take away from Bobby's ability to be able to make better food than her.
My son always wanted to cook. And I love my son, but he's not a good cook. He always wanted to make that chili spaghetti, and
That sounds awful.
I'm just not a big fan. I'm not a big fan of the chili spaghetti. And it's probably because we used Wolf Brand or Hormel chili, and just spaghetti. That's really all it is. It's chili, spaghetti noodles, and some cheese.
Well, spaghetti is good. Like bolognese is good. Bolognese actually requires 3 different types of meat. There's 3 different types of ground meat you're supposed to use when you make a bolognese.
I think it's
I mean,
Chicago or someplace like that where they eat a lot of chili spaghetti.
I've never heard of chili spaghetti.
Indiana,
and
something like that.
It's like chicken spaghetti to me too. Like I'm not.
Chicken spaghetti I get because there's other things in
I
it.
get it and it's good, but
a
I
can.
hate when people use a big block of Velveeta for it.
Really?
Like that's
Do you
the thing.
like the Velveeta dip?
I don't like fake. I don't like fake
eat Velveeta?
process. I do not eat
come
Velveeta.
on.
And the reason why
I know
is
what's wrong with your stomach.
is
Cincinnati. That's right. You got it. Artie.
Cincinnati. And the
Cincinnati,
reason
it's
why is
Skeety.
because it's not even real
Cincy
cheese.
Skeety.
It's not even cheese.
Mhm.
It doesn't have any dairy in it whatsoever. I like even with macaroni and cheese, the powder mix and all that, can't do that either.
Really?
So whenever my wife makes anything that has cheese in it, she does the roux, does the whole cheese thing, and like makes it the way like macaroni and cheese is supposed to taste.
The way
I
God
feel
intended?
like, yeah, I don't
In the
know.
Bible,
Like
it says don't use
I feel like
Velveeta.
that's what's wrong with a lot of people's diets is all of the fake processed shit. Velveeta's not even legal in Europe.
Oh.
They can't even sell Velveeta in Europe.
Well, that's what now
So,
we know what's wrong
like-
with Europe. She says, no. Wednesday is Spa Peggy and Meatballs Day. You can't have pork chops on Wednesday. That would throw off the whole rotation. Psst, Wednesday.
Whoa,
Like
Wednesday.
she's just really pissed off at this point.
Yeah, she's not too
Peggy is-
happy.
Peggy's mad because Hank just keeps on eating. He
Yeah.
just keeps eating it. I would too. It's good pie roast. Thanks, Bobby. All right.
Why
so
would you not eat something that tastes good? Like
That's what I'm saying.
it's like if it's better than what's there, why would you continue to
But
enjoy what's
the,
not good?
The other thing is the tone deafness of Hank because he does not even understand that he is insulting her.
No, he
know,
doesn't.
he
He
doesn't
doesn't
get it.
understand that he's insulting her at all, and that's what's funny.
Now we've got Peggy sitting over at Nancy's. These are the only lines from Nancy. She says, Peggy says, "You would not have believed it, Nancy. He ate that pot roast like it was my pork chops, and my pork chops were sitting right there." She says, "What you need, Shug, is an unfair advantage." She pulls out a copy of Ladies Monthly out of her purse, the magazine for ladies, and says, "It's a library, so try not to get anything on it." Peggy looks at it and she goes, "A homemaking magazine? Oh, no, thank you. I have never needed to." Well, that is the most. She's kind of looking through it. She goes, "Well, that is the most beautiful Thanksgiving centerpiece I've ever seen." So
That's funny. A home ec magazine,
She falls into it real quick.
Woman's World.
Woman's World, Ladies Monthly, Woman's Monthly Lady World. Okay, we're back to the hills, and she is trying to make that centerpiece, and it is absolute garbage.
Yeah, it's not very good.
It looks rough.
Really
And
rough,
And when
really
I say
bad.
rough, I mean rough. There's twigs sticking up. There's grass everywhere. It just looks terrible. Hank and Bobby come in, and he says, "Hey, Peggy, why is the table covered with yard waste?" She goes, "Hank, it is not yard waste, or it will not be when I get through with it. It'll be our stunning new Thanksgiving centerpiece made entirely of yard waste." He goes, "Ooh, don't touch it, Bobby. Those nests could be full of fleas and ticks." Peggy says, I love this part. Peggy says, "Not if you take the birds out. They'll build another nest. They're not going to let their eggs sit there on the sidewalk." God almighty. She has ripped birds out of their home.
That's awful,
Stuck
and
the-
that's also like unsanitary as hell. She's got
Stuck eggs.
bird waste on the table.
Oh. So they leave. Peggy keeps building, and she's scratching her head. So you're like, well, he's probably right. There probably
That's
are fleas and
awful.
ticks.
That's disgusting.
All right, next scene we see is we're at her hair, Herr hair, so as in the German for a woman. There is a hairdresser there who is obviously German. He's combing out her hair because he's getting all the nits and the fleas and shit out of her hair.
Yeah.
He goes, "Oh, okay, Ernst is done removing the parasites, but he cannot comb out the dark sadness that entangles you. What's up with that?"
It was Toby Huss, by the way.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
She goes, she says, "Ernst, imagine if the man you love found someone else to cook for him and clean for him and make his pants."
And this is and then I'm just gonna go ahead and put this in there real quick. She assumes this guy is gay.
Yes, she does.
She spends the whole episode assuming that this.
She does.
And that's why she
Assumes
says
he's
your
gay.
husband and all that. Like
She says, the man you love.
she
yeah.
thinks he's gay because he's got a German accent.
Well, he's a hairdresser. He's supposed
and
to
he,
be gay.
well,
That's
and
the
he's
way
a
it is, yeah.
hairdresser. So yeah.
He goes, "Who is this other woman?" She says, "The other woman is my son. He may be getting an A in home ec, but at what cost, huh? At what cost to me?" "Oh, cooking and cleaning and sewing. I did not hear you mention the boudoir. I can think of many things to be done there for Hank." She says, well, I am an excellent lover.
Yeah, that one's that's a tough one to believe there.
He says, and Ernst is an excellent hairstylist. Together, let us take your husband places from our wildest dreams. And he starts like cutting her hair and stuff. Now we're at the grocery store. Bill is in line. I'm assuming this is Pink's. Didn't we decide that these are Pink's grocery stores? Pink and White?
Pink
right?
and White.
Isn't that where they went to begin with?
Yeah.
Pink and White, which we're assuming is a Piggly Wiggly. And Bill is standing in line. He's buying all this stuff for his Thanksgiving dinner. Cashier says, sorry, sir, but you have more food than money. He goes, oh, okay. Well, I don't need cling wrap. And he puts that back. And he goes, this is my whole Thanksgiving dinner. And who am I kidding? There aren't going to be any leftovers. So she takes that off. She re-rings it. And she goes, you're still over. He goes, So time goes by, and they're removing thing after thing after thing to make sure that he can pay for all of it. And then finally he's like, oh, but you can't take my turkey. And takes the turkey. There's
still
just
over.
Butter left on the thing. And she goes, still over. He's done. He takes out a stick of butter, unwraps it, never breaks eye contact with the cashier, takes a giant bite out of a stick of butter, and then just walks out. That is the sassiest that I've ever seen Bill right there.
It's also not the grossest thing he's ever done, but have you ever ate butter like that?
I have never taken a big bite of a stick of butter, no.
Do you buy country crock or do you buy
No,
actual
we buy
butter?
real butter. We buy salted butter.
Okay, yeah, we
leave
get
the sticks out so that they're nice and soft and all that.
Oh, you do
stuff,
this butter sticks. We get the I get the tub of Kerrygold.
We do the sticks, but we have like a little glass, like an old timey glass.
Yeah, butter tray.
You know,
yeah,
with the thing on it.
little
and all
butter
that. So
butter dish.
Yeah, I like it. I think it's cool. It's
I like
just a
spreadable
mess.
butter. Yeah.
All right, so now we're in Hank's garage, and it's him and Bobby, and he's pulling a cozy over his saw. Now, if you don't know what a cozy is, think of – so you ever go into your great-grandmother's bathroom, and there's a cube of Kleenexes, right? But it's covered in something that's been knitted with maybe a doll sticking out of it or something like that, or
I've
a
seen it for
pom-pom
kettles.
on top of it.
I've seen them for kettles.
Yeah, kettles,
Like a
things
kettle
like that.
cozy. Yeah.
Yeah, not sure why you'd have them, but I get it. Whatever.
I think a lot of that is
It's very old
like
school.
a dust cover.
Yeah. Okay.
Like that was
On
what
your-
my understanding of having a cozy
your
on your kettle
tissues.
was to keep your kettle dust free.
Yeah, I've seen those kettle fires. Boy, they're big time when you get too much
You
dust
don't
on your
want
kettle.
dust on your kettle.
Don't
Yeah,
want
you
dust
really
on
don't
your
want
kettle.
dust on your kettle.
That sounds like a euphemism for something. I just don't know what it is.
Artie said he likes the Kerrygold garlic and herbs. I've never
sounds
tried that
lovely.
one, but Kerrygold butter to me, how he eats that butter stick,
Yeah.
I could probably do their butter like that by the spoonful.
Yeah,
It's
I'm not doing that.
really, really good.
Is that the one they fry at the fair? Fried sticks of butter.
They do that?
Yeah. Entire sticks of butter, deep fried in
And
batter.
people buy it.
People buy it and eat it.
I'm guessing those people are probably overweight,
Mostly in Houston.
high cholesterol, high blood pressure.
I mean, because sticks of butter cause all those things, so maybe. Yeah.
Probably don't have a left foot, maybe missing some
boy.
toes on the right.
Yeah. Okay.
Speaking of feet, how are your feet?
Oh, they're fine.
They're good?
fine.
You're good
They're
to go
all right.
again? Your
Well,
back's
I mean,
running
I'm
5 miles a
okay.
day?
I'm okay. I've been taping the one foot to the other, or taping the one foot, taping the one toe to the other toe, and it seems like it's straightened out a little bit.
Oh, there you
So
go.
I guess I'm good.
All right. You're
I
in
still hurt
business.
like hell, but that's all right. So we see Hank. He's pulling a cozy over his circular saw. And Hank says, "Oh, this circular saw cozy fits great, son. But can we call it something else? Hey, how about a circular saw buddy?" He goes, "Oh, you name it, and I'll knit it." And
It's funny that he's so uncomfortable with the word cozy.
Yeah,
He's got
he
to
don't like
replace
cozy, he
it
wants
with
buddy.
something. Yeah.
Yeah, buddy is better. You see Peggy pull up behind him. He goes, "Hey, Peggy, Bobby made me a circular saw buddy." She gets out, and she has giant ass hair. Now,
Yeah, very teased up hair.
What I would compare this to is the lady from the B-52s, right?
Or Dolly Parton.
Dolly
in,
Parton, big hair.
Best Little Whorehouse in Texas.
Elvira. I mean, whatever.
Elvira
Just
had
the
big hair, yeah.
stacked up hair, right? Very Texas,
Very
stacked up hair.
early 80s.
Yeah.
Very early 80s.
Yeah. He goes, "Whoa, your hair looks great. It's so big." She goes,
already
well,
said Miss Piggy. Yeah.
Well, she goes, well, I hope it's not too tall to get through the bedroom door, Hank. And he says, well, the doorway's got a 7-foot clearance. I mean, he has no idea why she's saying these things.
There's a thing I read, and it'd be great for a Friday episode if I could find it again, but they were talking about Hank having autism. They were talking about Hank being autistic.
I can see that.
And that right there is one of the examples they used was this right here, how you'll tell Hank something, but then Hank's like, well, there's a 7-foot clearance. Like he just doesn't, doesn't pick up on the social cue that she's trying to flirt with him. He's like, well, Peggy, I'm sorry, but that door's got a 7-foot clearance, So I think that's a good argument for it.
That is a pretty good argument for him being autistic, and I'm somebody who thinks that we're all just a little bit autistic.
Yeah, I think so.
So she says, well, I hope it's not too big to fit through the bedroom door, Hank. He goes, well, the doorway's got a 7-foot clearance. Then you hear dinner, and Peggy goes, dinner? He says, when it got to be 5 o'clock and you weren't home, I asked Bobby to whip up something. She goes, well, that's a good idea. The sooner we eat, the sooner we can get to dessert. And then she makes cougar noises like, meow, and she scratches her hand at him like she's, meow.
She's being really weird.
And
like this ain't Hank's kind of thing,
Hank just responds with, I think Bobby made pie. I mean, that's his only. It's really great. All right, now we're in the bedroom of the Hills. Hank's taking his pants off. He says, I probably should have stopped at Seconds. I'm not usually a big fan of cheese, but, boy, the things Bobby does with it. And she says, she comes out, by the way, out of the bathroom, looking as sexy as Peggy can possibly try to look.
Yeah.
She's wearing his shirt. You know how that's kind of sexy when your lady wears your shirts or whatever, the big ones, She's got the big hair. She comes out all slinkily. She says, I have an idea how we can burn off some calories, Hank. She comes out and crawls right on top of him in the bed. And he goes, ugh. She says, what's wrong? Is Bobby's cooking coming up on you? He goes, I think it's all that beauty stuff in your hair. Kind of has that new car smell. That pisses her off. She gets pissed, and she rolls over, and Hank turns off the light. And the last thing we hear from Hank before he goes to sleep and she's pissed off is, boy, that cheese. That's it. And then he drifts off to dreamland. Later, we see him in the middle of the night. Hank rolls over towards Peggy, and he smells her hair, and he's like, oh. And so he gets up. And now's when we learn that they're sleeping on 2 twin beds pushed together to make one.
Yeah, that's where we kind of find that out. That was one of the things that Artie had in his notes. He said that's the first we kind of see of that.
Well, it's like the Dick Van Dyke beds, right? That kind of thing where they're separated in the middle. So he gets over and he moves it over, and then she kind of startles and wakes up. She goes, Hank, what's going on? He goes, oh, the fumes coming off your hair keep waking me up. You don't smell like new car. I just said that to make you feel better. Is that supposed to make somebody feel better? You smell like new car?
Well,
I guess it's better than you smell like shit.
Well, I guess in his mind, that's one of his favorite scents.
It is
the new
true
car
in
smell.
the.
I hate that smell, honestly.
It is true in the suburbs. The new car smell is the way to go.
I really am
Everybody
not
loves it.
a fan of the new car smell. Anytime that I've gotten a new car, I've done everything I can
You're
to
smelling
get.
plastic.
That's it. I've done everything I can to get rid of that
Plastic
smell
and
in my
fabric.
car.
That's what you're smelling.
So I like buying used cars because they don't smell brand new.
Nathan Made It says smelling like formaldehyde. Which
Yeah,
that's
there you
about
go.
right. Yeah.
Yes,
that's about
they
right.
just smell like formaldehyde. She probably smells like, I don't know. One of the smells that I hate the most in the world is too much hairspray.
Yeah.
It just has its own
I just don't
like
smell of
its
hairspray.
own
Period. Any of it.
distinct smell. It's like
A green pen and it leaked all over my hand.
it's like it's like Axe spray too. That's just like a
Axe is
horrible. I remember
Because
watching
I
kids.
taught middle school, and all middle school kids think Axe is great.
I remember being in 8th grade math class watching these guys. There was
8th
like
grade,
2
there
of
you go.
them. They would huff the propellant off of Axe cans.
Sure.
And all I could think about was that has to taste awful.
Doesn't matter at that point.
No, that has to taste Aquanet or White Diamond.
White Diamond.
That's my mom's scent is White Diamond.
Not King Diamond. White Diamond.
White Diamond by Elizabeth Taylor.
So comes out. Peggy
And
comes
who's been
out.
dead for like 20 years
She's been
now?
dead for a while. Yeah. He comes. Peggy comes out of the bedroom. She's pissed off. She goes, Bobby, put away your robot and go to bed. He's filling a steam cleaner, not a robot. She goes, I need the couch. Your father's feeling ill. I think it was something he ate. Just try. Just jab, jab, jab.
Well, he's jabbing back too, though. He's the couch jab is pretty
Arthur
tough.
says Aquanet, and Nathan says I'm allergic to axe. I break out in hives and pass out. Woo! Wow, that is quite a reaction.
Anytime that I smell Axe, it instantly makes me crave punching hole in drywall and drinking Monsters.
Sure.
Yeah.
So she comes out. She sees him with the steam cleaner, and she goes, put away your robot and go to bed. I need the couch. He goes, why don't you just take my bed? I got a lot of work to do out here. He starts smacking the cushions on the couch. Dirt flies up. He goes, was this ever an outdoor couch?
That's funny. That's hilarious.
She goes, okay, fine. I'll sleep in your bed right into your booger wall. And she just storms off. Later, Hank comes out, and he sees Bobby steam cleaning the couch and everything. He goes, oh, I thought I heard an upholstery shampooer. That is a very specific sound, apparently. He says, maybe you could use that thing to get the smell out of your mother's side of the bed. Have you seen her? Bobby says, she was looking for a place to sleep, so I let her have my bed. Well, where are you going to sleep? I'll just crash on the couch. It's still a little wet, but it gives me an excuse to sleep in my poncho.
What the hell? That's the writer's. That's gold. That's hilarious. Yeah, that's funny.
Just been looking for that.
That's good writing.
Hank
I like
says,
that.
no. Your mother's bed is empty. Why don't you just bunk with me in the big bedroom? He goes, I'll make caramel popcorn. He goes, I'll turn on the TV. Such a clear night, we might be able to pick up the news from San Antonio. Their sports guy played for the Oilers for a year. Which I thought that for me, that's funny.
Well, I thought it's funny that this is 2002 when this episode's released,
yeah.
So it's not far from when was the digital 09, 08, something like that. So I think it's funny that they say, if it's such a clear night, we could pick up TV in San Antonio.
Yeah. Well,
I remember those days though, like daytime you wouldn't, because I lived in a 2-story house growing up, and my bedroom was on the 2nd floor, and I was always fascinated with TV and radio antennas and seeing how many channels I could pick up and how far away I could listen to radio. And at nighttime I could pick up channels that I generally couldn't get in the daytime. And then I had this radio that was I had rigged up this crazy antenna thing to it with like a power booster on it and everything,
right.
And I could actually listen to Waco's air traffic controller. I could hear at night. I could hear the air traffic controller and the airplanes and stuff that it was talking to. But
the Oilers moved from Houston to Tennessee in '97, so this is just a couple of years after
wow.
that.
So. Damn, I didn't realize it's not even been that long then, really, that they've been there.
5 years later, he's talking about a guy who played for the Oilers.
Yeah, because 97 and then 05 was when the Texans came to be, I think, 04, 05. Yeah, go Texans.
All right, now we go to the Artie just says Oilers, which is nice. They're both in the bed, so Bobby's in one bed and Hank's in the other bed, and Bobby says, I didn't know your bed was made of 2 little beds. And Hank says, well, your mother likes her mattress firm, and I like mine extra firm. So I guess it's true. Opposites attract. That's not opposite, Hank.
Yeah.
Sure. He goes, check out the weather girl. She's looking at the wrong camera. He goes, San Antonio. He goes, and it's gonna rain tomorrow. And then you hear from the other room, Peggy's hearing it, and Hank, after he says it's gonna rain tomorrow, Hank says, why would anyone live there? I mean, just because it's going to rain? He goes, you know who'd get a kick out of this? Lady Bird. And he starts calling Lady Bird. Lady Bird sits up at the foot of Peggy's bed and leaves. He said, you hear, come here, girl. And so Peggy is truly alone in Bobby's bed now, and she is very sad. And this takes us to the second commercial break. We'll take that.
I think it's sweet, though. That's the most conversation that Bobby and Hank have had. Sure. And this is halfway through the show. Well, we're literally at the halfway point. It's the most conversation.
Peggy the hell out of there. They can have a conversation.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, I think it's I think it's funny because generally Hank would be dogging him for cooking and cleaning and all that, but as long as he could call it a buddy instead of a cozy, he's all right with it.
All right, this is our second commercial break, and theirs as well. We'll take this, and we will be
right back.
We are back. Now, we've still got Bobby and Hank in the Hills' bedroom. They are watching the smallest ass TV I've ever seen, way up on top of the bureau. like on top of the place where he hangs his coats and things. And you see it for a flash second, but it is so small.
About a
I
9-inch.
don't know, Artie. I don't know why Lady Bird would enjoy seeing Miss Piggy.
A 9-inch TV from like 20, probably like 15 feet away. I don't know how they could even see it.
I don't know how they can even see it. Yeah. They continue. That Miss Piggy balloon has the same hairdo as your mother. So they're still they're watching the Thanksgiving Day parade, I guess. At this point, Peggy comes busting into the bedroom. They're both there eating breakfast in bed on these little TV trays that we have never seen, but they are made for eating breakfast in bed. Hank looks at her and goes, "Oh, hey, Peggy." She goes, "Well, maybe for you it is." "Oh, I was expecting you to say good morning." She goes, "So did you sleep well?" He goes, "Oh, not really. Bobby and I were up talking, really, really talking." I mean, that is something for Hank to say, that they were not only talking but really talking.
That's like like I said, that's like the first long conversation you see him have throughout the whole series of the show, and we're like I said, we're halfway point. So yeah, it's kind of funny.
So now we go. She is pissed. She goes off into Bobby's room. She slams the door. She screams into a pillow. And when she picks up the pillow, she sees something underneath the other pillow.
And she's looking to sabotage here at this point.
Is.
Yeah.
It is the copy of Ladies Monthly magazine under his other pillow. So that's Ladies Women's Monthly magazine for ladies under his pillow. And she goes, "Oh, so that's where it went. Perfect." She goes, "Hank, come in here, quick." He comes in. She goes, "Look what I found in Bobby's bed." It's a ladies' magazine, and that is not my opinion. It says right there in the title. It says, "You were right about home ec. Hank, it's ruining Bobby. Every perfume ad has been scratched and sniffed, and his horoscope says that this is a good week for him to meet the man of his dreams." She goes, "If you ask me, Hank, that boy ain't right." That's the first time I've ever heard her say that. That is Hank's line, and that's the first time I've ever heard her
That's the first time you hear
that.
Well, if you ask me, that boy ain't right.
Yes, when she woke up, she did have an M&M doll stuck in her hair, by the way, when she first got up. That's a good point, Artie. That is the first time I've ever heard her say that. But
yeah, that's it. That's the very first time.
Hank says, "Bobby, get in here now." He's looking in the magazine. He goes, "What's up, Dad?" He goes, "Son, do you think you can make this buttermilk basted turkey?" I mean, that's all he cares about. Make this recipe. He goes, "Well, that recipe takes 24 hours. Good thing I started on it last night," is what he says. He's like,
who's buying all this food, though?
I know shit,
That's
right?
what I'm saying.
"Oh, I thought you were getting up to use the bathroom a lot. You know what? Let's have Bobby handle the whole meal," he says to Peggy as Bobby leaves. She goes, "What? But every year he goes, "This year the only thing you'll have to do is get hungry, just kick back on the couch now that it's fit to sit on."
That's a jab
it's
too.
Jab.
Yeah. Now that it's fit to sit on.
Bobby sticks his head back in. "Oh, Dad, where's the turkey platter? I want to start the radish roses." He goes, "Oh, it's in the garage in a box marked." Now get this, in a box marked winter, holiday, poultry, serving dishes.
Going back to the autism argument.
That is
like it's
the
super specific.
Most specific box ever. "Here, I'll help you find it." And he goes. And then Bobby says to her, "Mom, you mind popping my bird in? Don't worry, the racks are set and the oven's already preheated. It's idiot-proof." And then he leaves, and good God, is she mad. She's so
pissed,
angry.
Yeah.
Woo, boy. All right, so she goes to the kitchen. She tears open the fridge. She grabs the turkey. She slams the fridge back. She throws the turkey in, and then she looks at it, and she goes, "You know what? They don't deserve us." And she grabs the turkey, and she runs out the front door. She sneaks out, but then she gets behind. She sees that she is blocked in. She goes, "Oh, boxed in." So her car is there, and Hank's truck is right behind it.
Yeah.
She looks over. She sees a bicycle up against a tree, and then Bill comes walking up, so she has to hide behind the tree real quick. He comes up and asks Hank, "Did I fix a hole in my roof in the last few days?" Hank looks at it and goes, "Well, it still looks pretty bad, so maybe. Why?" He says, "I can't buy any Thanksgiving food because my bank account is empty and I can't remember what I spent it on." And then Dale comes walking up. "It's empty because I cashed your check, Bill, which did not clear for the full $1 million. Bill says, "But that check was a joke, just like the bet. It was a joke. I laughed. We had a legitimate oral contract entered into fully and freely when I said betcha, and you said, I quote, 'You're on.'" Hank says, "Dale, stop talking like a lawyer and just give Bill his money back." He goes, "What's the point? Bill would probably just go and spend it on something stupid like himself."
That's funny.
As he says that, we see Peggy ride off with the turkey. She's on this damn bicycle riding down the street. Don't know what her plan is. She just wants the hell out of there, and she wants to sabotage whatever the hell's going on. She crashes in the middle of the street, dumps the turkey. Stuffing goes everywhere. She scoops it back up, throws it back into the turkey. The turkey is looking pretty damn rough at this point. Next thing, we see her still riding on this bike with the turkey, this dirty turkey. And she goes to an apartment. She goes to the door, knocks on the door. The hairdresser answers, and he goes, Peggy, oh, I didn't see the haircuts. Oh, shit, where'd my German accent go?
I don't know.
Peggy, oh, I see my haircut was a success. Your Hank, he ravaged you last night, yes? Tell me what you did to him. She goes, oh, I stole his turkey is what I did. I'd rather share it with a man who needs me, a man who is also alone on Thanksgiving because of the stigma society attaches to his unconventional sexual appetites. So again, here you go. She's assuming this guy's gay.
Assuming, yeah.
He says, get in here, you drama queen. Tell me, who is this mystery man? And then Peggy looks over, and there's a woman breastfeeding a baby walking up. And she goes, who the hell is she? It's Peggy Hills. This is my wife, Claudia, and my little angel, Brett. Is that voice actor Bronson? Yes, you got it. Thank you, Luke, for making fun of my voice. She goes, you have a family who loves you? And she just breaks down and starts crying.
That's kind of fucked up. She was expecting
is.
him to not have a family or nothing, and she gets over there and she's
mad
like,
because he's
you've got a family? What?
Insane.
You've got a family who loves you? What the hell?
Okay, so now we're at the Hill house again. Bobby's cooking. Hank is sharpening knives, so we're getting all ready. Phone rings. Hank answers it. Hank Hill, happy Thanksgiving. I mean, that's a hell of a greeting, number one. You hear, Hank, this is Ernst. I hope you're sitting down for this bombshell I'm about to drop. Last chance to sit. He goes, is it about the smell in Peggy's hair? This is not about some smell that you are imagining. Peggy is here with your turkey. They're both bruised and broken. He looks at the oven. He goes, son of a gun, your mother took the turkey and ran off to her hairdresser's. And then you hear Ernst again. You have made her feel useless in her own house. Now she is at my house laying face down in a puddle of her own self-esteem. Pull her out before she drowns. Luke says he was in Step by Step in Beverly Hills Cop. Oh, yeah. I don't think it's Bronson Pinchot. No, I thought you were calling me Bronson.
No, it's Toby Huss. It also
it's
reminds
Toby
me
Huss,
of whoever does the voice for
but
the pigs.
Sounds a lot like him.
Whoever does the voice for the pigs on Shrek. Oh, no. Yeah. That voice.
So as he's talking, he says, pull her out before she drowns. And then it shows Peggy sitting, clutching her turkey, her dirty-ass turkey, next to the lady with the baby. And she goes, I breastfed my Bobby. Big mistake. And then you see Hank hang up. He goes, Bobby, I need you to do two things I pray you'll never have to do again. Tape the Cowboys game and give me an apron. Tape the Cowboys game. That's the biggest one right there.
That's funny.
Later, we see Ernst drive up. He's got Peggy in his car. He drops her off at the front door. Hank opens the front door. He is dressed like he's going to church. He looks great. She looks effing terrible. He goes, hello, Peggy. She goes, I'm sorry, I'm so underdressed, Hank. I see you and Bobby decided to go formal. He goes, no. He brings her in. He goes, no, I sent Bobby to the neighbors, but first we whipped up some of our favorite dishes. He turns on the light, and all of her food is sitting there around that terrible-ass, dirty, funky centerpiece. And he goes, happy Thanksgiving. She looks around, and she goes, fried pork chops, Frito pie with Wolf Brand chili. There it is again. Spa Peggy with meatballs. He goes, and a half a bottle of our wedding wine. And he pours her a glass, and she goes, so you don't even need me to make spaghetti or Spa Peggy? He goes, nope, I guess not, but that's okay. I didn't marry you because I needed someone to cook and clean for me. I married you because, the love. She goes, oh, Hank. He goes, your hair smells much better now, like stuffing. And
Which
then we get the
I
credits.
would rather smell stuffing than whatever the hell her hair did smell like.
It. Luke says, huge miss by not having Cotton in this episode.
I agree.
I think you're absolutely right.
I think this would have been a
about
good
that.
episode to have Cotton in.
Yeah.
Because I think Cotton would have shit on Peggy and like boosted Bobby up. That's the thing I like. That's the only thing that I do like about Cotton as like a character is how much he loves his grandson.
So we get the credits, and then halfway through the credits, we get Bill and Bobby sitting at Bill's house, and he goes, Bobby, this is the best Thanksgiving dinner I've ever had. Ooh, let's do the wishbone. And they hold up the wishbone, and he and Bobby try to break it, and he goes, this is for $1 million. They break it, And he goes, okay. And then Bill says, I won. You owe me $1 million. And then out of nowhere, Dale steps in. Correction, you owe me $1 million. And then Bill looks at him and goes, I'm so sorry, Bobby. He made me do it. It was all a setup. Like they're going to get $1 million from a child.
Yeah, they're not getting $1 million from anybody.
Oh, my God. Then
just
after all the credits
Utah
we hear,
State quarters.
Yeah, after all the credits we hear Hank say, boy, that cheese.
That cheese.
Mm-hmm. And that is it, guys. That is the entirety of Season 7, Episode 46 ABE 01, Goodbye Normal Jeans, aired November 24, 2002.
And it is episode 129.
Yeah.
And we
halfway
have
through.
129 episodes
we are now
to go.
officially halfway through because we finished this episode.
So now we're over halfway through now.
Oh, are we?
Yeah.
I thought you said 129 and 129.
Oh, sorry. Yes. Yeah.
This is
we're the
absolute
next
middle.
episode. My bad. Yeah. My math's off.
Make sure you listen on Friday. We have a special guest. Nathan made it. He's going to come on here and talk about his art. And I think you'll really enjoy that. He's got a lot of mashup stuff and
cool
make
stuff.
Sure you check out all of his things. Artie, thanks for all your help. Luke, thanks for being here. Nathan, thanks for being here.
I will made it. Or I will
look through here. I was in a box. Thank you for being here. Blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, thank you for everybody
being here.
that hangs out on the lives.
Oh wait, that's me. Thank you for being here. Rusty Shackelford, thank you for being here. All of you, thank you so much. Any of you that are still here watching, we really appreciate it. Hey, one thing I'd like for you to do is check out Swimmer's Ear, a podcast that Rusty and I normally do. Mason and I have been doing it here lately because Rusty's been feeling a little under the weather.
Yeah, I'll be back eventually.
He'll be back. And then also check out TexasCreatorAwards.com. Please vote for your favorite Texas creator. Whatever they create is great. Thank you guys for giving us the hearts. We really appreciate it, Luke.
Yeah,
Thank
Luke.
you always for doing this. We really appreciate
we
you.
Appreciate
we
that.
Do it without you guys here.
We appreciate you, Luke. Without you guys, we would just be two dudes talking to each other.
Absolutely. You got it. All right, that is all I got, I believe, unless you want to tell them where they can find us.
Yeah, you can find us at BWAAA. That's 3 A's, KOTH. And that's pretty much any social media that you could think of except for Rumble and Truth Social.
Yeah, on there we're under different handles. We are not. Thank you guys for joining us, and we will see you next time. Just one thing left to say.
We Matanye.
We Matanye indeed, mofo. This has been a Rogue Media Network